Hello guys, how we doing? Welcome back to the Free Hammers. All the gear, no idea. It's been a while. I haven't done one of these for a very long time. You know, just life gets in the way, as they say. I thought I'd do one today. You know, it's half term next week, so I've got a bit more time on my hands over the next sort of week or so. Yeah, and remember, guys, it's your show. You know, you dictate where the show goes in terms of the topics and what you want discussed. I think the best place to start though is yesterday's game. Um, what a fantastic point, you know, against a brilliant Manchester City team. In the first half, I thought we was excellent. I really do. Some of the passing and moving towards like the last 10 to 15 minutes of the first half was some really class stuff. In possession, we looked fantastic. Out of possession, we looked organised, had a good shape about us. A really positive result. So yeah, our goal, you know, controversy over whether it was handball. I'll tell you now, if a top 16 would have scored that goal, they wouldn't have carried on about the handball controversy. They were just looking at any way of trying to disallow that goal, and the commentators were probably hoping that they could come back in the second half and even look at it. Great goal though. What a goal, man in form. Mikel Antonio, you know, he held him off and then put in that bicycle kick, which was just real class goal. Keeps Hannum. I noticed that. I noticed them. We'll have 2 goals in goal a month this month, though, which is fantastic. Lanzini's one, obviously, from last week, which was just moment, and then yesterday's goal. So it's great to have 2 goals in goal a month this month. Their goal, obviously, they took Aguero off, and we nullified Aguero in the first half. He couldn't really do anything. I know Paul had a bet on him to have 2 shots on target throughout the 90 minutes. I don't think he had one. And then obviously Foden come on, and then Foden just, you know, he created a bit of confusion. It sort of did like what Harry Kane did against us, where you don't know whether to mark him. Is he going to drop deep? Is he going to stay forward? And creates a little bit of problems between the CDMs and the centre backs. He took his goal really well. He linked the play really nicely. He was the man of the match of the second half, without a doubt. We have that really good chance with Fornals as well. And also, obviously, you know, Fabianski pulled off some wonderful saves. What do you make of the penalty, guys, as well? Penalty decision, obviously, it wasn't given. For me, I think it was. Ian Wright said he thought it was on the highlights I was watching, and a couple of the guys in the studio match of the day thought it was as well. Yeah, I think that potentially we could have got a penalty there, but then you could say that we got given the handball and, you know, swings in roundabouts. I don't know. Let me know what you guys think. Neil's in the chat says, hi mate, how's it going? Yeah, any questions, any comments, guys? Obviously, chuck them in now, and we'll talk about it. Luke, I think we should have had a penalty in the first half. The young centre-back never got the ball when he tackled. Yeah, I agree, mate. I just literally touched on that there, mate. I don't know if you missed it. I think, yeah, he just sort of took him there. He's like, as he went through, he didn't get the ball. Yeah, and I think maybe should have had a penalty there. Anywhere else on the pitch, they would have given a foul there. So the fact that we didn't get a penalty there may be a bit harsh. And then if it would have been 2-0, who knows what would have happened in the game at that point. Andy Miles says, good morning, mate. But yeah, if we and Brian Patterson says, pen for me. If we reflect on the first, 8 games we've played now, is it 7, 8 games? You've got to say it's 7. How many games we played? Sorry, I sound like a really bad West Ham fan now. Bear with me, guys. Morning, Gary. Again, if you've got any questions, guys, topics, put them in. Remember, this is a real loose show. We go, you know, we do what we want on this show. It's not really structured. We just have some fun. Oh, we played 6 games. Okay, right. So we played 6 games. We've won 2, drawn 2, lost 2. I would have bit your hand off for the amount of points that we're on now when the fixtures come out. If you would have told me, okay, you're going to beat Wolves, going to beat Leicester, draw with Manchester City, draw with Tottenham, lose to Arsenal, lose to Newcastle. Not in that specific order, but you know that the points tally we're on, it's more than a point a game, which is good. You know, which is good going for the fixtures that we had there, you've got to say that it's credit to the team, credit to Moyes. And you know, I keep seeing it mentioned on the other West Ham channels, and it's so true. We're a tough team now. You know, we're not a pushover at the minute. We've got some really, really fit players as well. Just looking at the comments here. Sorry, Gary, I've used that one. There was one angle in which Souček didn't handle the ball. She just says, good morning, everyone. Yeah, so, you know, again, looking at those 6 games, Newcastle, we just wasn't ready. I think, you know, we just didn't turn up in that game. Arsenal, we played well and was a bit unlucky. Leicester was fantastic. Wolves was fantastic. Tottenham was fantastic. And yesterday, you know, for most of the game, we were fantastic. You know, Everton game as well. You could put the Everton game that we was poor, you know, the cup game. But, you know, the 2 cup games before that were really good. So if you consider that as 9 games, if you include the cup game, to have only had 3 bad games, you know, 3 losses out of 9 possible games, you've got to say, you know, it's good going. It really is. We're scoring lots of goals at the minute. We're not conceding many, apart from obviously the 3 at Spurs where we sort of capitulated a little bit. But there's character, there's fitness. We actually look fit, you know. I don't know what the stats are. I'd love to see the stats on how much ground Rice and Souček cover in the 90 minutes. They've got to be hitting the 12k mark, you know, because they literally don't stop running. It's sensational the way they run. Yeah, let's go into the questions, guys. There's a few good ones in there, and I don't want to go too far ahead. We need to beat the teams around us. Points against Spurs and City. But yeah, you know, the Liverpool game is a bit of a free hit now, you know, because we're sort of probably above what our target set was at the time. You know, I reckon Moyes maybe looked at them games, you know, if we can get 2 wins out of there, or, you know, a few draws and be on. Yeah, we're probably at the right sort of point he thought we would be at, maybe a bit more. So the Liverpool game's a bit of a free hit. But yeah, as you say, mate, it's all about beating the Liverpool game. We'll watch it, we'll enjoy it. Hopefully we get a point. God knows, get a win. But if we do lose, it's not a big deal. It's not a big deal. What is a big deal is the Fulham game and the Sheffield United games after that, mate. You know, we don't want typical West Ham. Let's use that. You know, that if you want a summary of the West Ham way, that would be it. You know, the fact that we'd come off the back of potentially 4, maybe 5 good results if we were to get anything at Anfield next week, and then probably go and get turned over by Fulham and Sheffield United. That would sum us up, and that would really see where we're at. You know, if we come with that same intensity, that same organisation, you know, against how we played against Leicester and Wolves, you do that against Fulham and Sheffield United, you're going to be smashing 5 goals in against them. But we wait and see. We wait and see. We've seen it before, and I hope I'm on here in a few weeks' time saying, listen, this is a different West Ham team. But we won't know until about 2 weeks' time. Can we show the mentality against teams at our level? Exactly it, Sean, mate. As I just said there, it's all about them Fulham games, Sheffield United. I'm just going to get the fixture list up now because top of my head, I can't remember the games after that. So yeah, we've got, so obviously Liverpool, let's forget that. Yeah, Aston Villa's is quite a tough game, but again, you're going to be considering them a team that probably will be around us by March, May. Man United's a team we can get out. Leeds, toughish game. Palace, Chelsea, Brighton, Southampton. The fixtures are more favourable, should I say now. For a little while, you know, again, we play like Liverpool on the 30th of January. I'm looking that far ahead. Like, if in terms of, we play big clubs, like we played Chelsea, obviously, on the 19th, but not that scared of them. I hope that don't come back and bite me. Manchester United, not that scared of them. The way we're playing at the moment. Like I say, yeah. So, yeah, Liverpool on the 30th of Jan. And then, really, the next sort of cluster of tough fixtures is about February time when we play Tottenham, Manchester City. I don't want to go too far ahead, but I'm just looking. Yeah, then you got Manchester United and Arsenal in March. Yeah, so, you know, who knows? Honestly, who knows? I'm not saying we're going to have some worldy of a season and get Champions League or whatever, but I would love a good, solid top 10 finish this year, with no fears of relegation. And, something that will be progress, and that's what we want. Would you give Moyes a contract right now, or is it too soon? Let's see where we are Christmas. Let's see where we are at Christmas, As I say, let's get through Liverpool, see where we are 5 or 6 games after Liverpool. If we can sit there and go, okay, we're sitting nice solidly in 8th, 9th even, and it doesn't look like we'd get pulled in, then yeah, why not? Why not, mate? Why not? I think the Newcastle game was too soon after Selgrave. Possibly. Good point there for Sheezy. Yeah, maybe there is a little bit of hurt still around the team. I remember, the Fulham games, the Sheffield United games when they come out. We'll probably get to see Benrahma as well. I don't think Benrahma will feature in the Liverpool game. I could be wrong. But I reckon he's going to save him for that Sheffield United and Fulham game, for that excitement and that build-up of nervous energy that he'll have, and then release him. Release him in those games when we might need him, in games where, Fulham and Sheffield United will have more possession potentially, and we'll need someone sparky like him to, create a bit of magic, to create an assist, to break down a team. And it'll be slightly different from how we've been playing against these other teams. What I'm getting angry at is if Bilic had got these results, we would all be happy with him. But people still want rid of Moyes. What does the man have to do? I don't like his subs, but I back him. Agree, Gary, mate. Listen, he weren't my first choice, and I reckon he weren't 85%, 90% of West Ham's choices. But we've got to give him credit for the start of the season we've had. The players he's brought in have all gelled. We finally look like we're organised. We finally look like we're fit. It finally looks like every single man knows what they actually have to do during a 90-minute period. Where at times under Pellegrini, it sort of seemed like, go out there and play, lads. Go and enjoy yourself. And maybe sometimes under Bilic as well. We did have Dimitri Payet at the time, one of the best players in the world. And at times you looked at it and went, what actually is their role? What do they do? Look at Cresswell, for example. How much has Cresswell come on again under Moyes now? He for me, he's becoming an undroppable Cresswell at the minute in that left centre-back role. Delivery's fantastic. Doesn't seem to get caught out as much in defence, apart from when he's back post with Harry Kane. Really, really good. Masuaku's come on leaps and bounds in that left wing-back role. Soucek's been a revelation. Bowen's just ridiculous work rate. Fornal's ridiculous work rate. Rice is fantastic, as we know. Antonio's really come on even more now as a striker. He's one of them where he only needs maybe 1-2 chances a game and one's going in. He's ruthless at the minute. He really is. And, some of that maybe you do have to put down to the coaching. Maybe that Kevin Nolan's, what's Kevin Nolan doing at the club? Stuart Pearce, what impact are they having, on that? And they're really taking it on the board at the players at the minute. So you've got to give it that there's some good character there and definitely some fantastic team spirit in there. Luke, I'm not worried about Man City and the likes because we can sit back and break versus Fulham and Sheffield United. The onus is on us in attack, and I worry we won't break teams down. Exactly, Ken. And as I say, this is where you can hopefully we'll release Benrahmas and we'll release some Lanzinis in there. We've got that trick and I've got that little drop of the shoulder and a turn and can play those little intricate passes where they lend the ball to each other. That's where Moyes, this is where Moyes, okay, can you adapt now? You've shown you can play the sit-back role and the counter-attacking role. Can we be an attacking threat against these lesser teams? And I don't like using that word because every game is a tough game in the Premier League. But yeah, we have to have that adaptability, that fluidity to be able to change, our game plans. Bear with me, guys. Okay, with Antonio, we can get a result at Liverpool, but without him, we'll lose. I agree. That's obviously something I haven't touched on yet. So Antonio did go off, didn't he? And it was one of them. I text Paul at the time, tongue in cheek, season over. Like I texted him exact same thing when Fabianski got injured last year. Let's hope. He felt it, sort of like a pre-hamstring, a bit like I'm going to come off now because I've had that before and I don't want to push it too far. He's got a nice rest now. We don't play till 5:30 on Saturday. So hopefully he's okay, mate. But yeah, if he's not, then who knows? Because obviously Yarmolenko is one of the biggest hot and cold players for me as well. Like, he came on yesterday, didn't he? And he was shocking. He could have been taken off. So, and I don't understand why he put him on the wing and then Bowen up front. I would have kept Bowen on the wing and then maybe Yarmer up front, because when he was not tracking back, it doesn't matter so much when you're up front. I don't know, guys. Let me know what you think. Moyes has automatic trigger in his contract. I've heard most probably, if we don't get relegated, Moyes will get an automatic, and he'll deserve it. He'll deserve it, mate. If keeps us up, and we've not been in a relegation fight, it's progress. It's progress. Last year he came in, we looked dead and buried. We looked like we couldn't buy a win. He kept us up. He's brought some good players in, and so far this season, it looks good. It looks positive. We'll talk again in 3 months' time and see where we are. I hope he gets a new contract, because if he does, that means West Ham's done well, and that's all we want as fans. Andy Miles agrees with you, Kent. Nice to see some of you agreeing. Usually very friendly in the chat over here. Compared to previous seasons, we are on target for 50 points. If we lose the pool, the average will take us down to 43 points. 43 points is staying up. So I'll be very, very happy, Steve. Our league form has been very consistent since returning from lockdown. Only a couple of poor performances, really. Yeah, how much do you put on that, guys? On this no fans stuff. Is the no fans thing really helping West Ham out? And it's going against the big teams, because the crowds are not having that impact over the referee. The referee can just ref the game, and there's none of this chanting, there's none of the pressure, none of the feeling that they need to even it up sometimes in a ground. You know what it's like. If someone gets sent off, the home fans can put the pressure on, and the referee feels like they need to even it up or give a penalty the other way and give a yellow card. I think I'm quite scared about when West Ham fans are allowed back in, actually. On how our results might go, because we are a fickle bunch. We are, as much as we're one of the best supporters in the world, we can be a real fickle bunch. Let me know what you guys think on that. 1 year extension is ridiculous. How do you build a vision on 1 year? Yeah, again, I'm not saying right or wrong, mate, but yeah, I don't like managers going into the last year of their contracts. We've seen it so many times. The players down tools. If it really looks like the manager's not going to get a new contract, and we don't want to be in that scenario again, Gary. I think Benrahma will be a force against the teams that sit back. I really hope so, mate. I'm really excited to see him play. That's my issue, Gary. I think come Christmas, if we're in the top 10, I'd give him a 3-year contract. Also, other teams might look at him. Other teams might think, well, do you know what, Dave, if you back him, give him a coaching setup, he can be quite a good manager. We will be the team that draws the most matches. Our reliance on Antonio's goal are too overwhelming. Well, the window only opens in 8 weeks' time. 8 weeks' time, the transfer window opens again. Whether we could get Josh King over the line in January, whether there's like a sort of pre-agreement, who knows? We should be all over that in January. We really should. Or if not him, then I see someone mention it. I can't remember what channel I was watching. A real pacey, dynamic striker, like when Diafra Sakho first come in, like energy, finishing, runs in behind. That's what we need to be looking at in January for if Antonio did get injured. And pending where we are, if we were sitting nice and comfortably in the top 10, you push on a bit further, or have a real good go at the FA Cup in January if you're comfortable. Agree, 3 years is better. Gives him a chance to turn the club around. I agree. And he can nurture Kevin Nolan as well. Kevin Nolan can pick up some stuff, and who knows, Mark might join that coaching team in a year's time if he is to retire, and he can keep his vibe around the club. Lanzini must be disappointed not to feature yesterday. Yeah, I agree, mate. There was points in the game where we were on top, and I thought we may go on and win it. Maybe like the dynamism of Lanzini, just that ability to carry the ball a bit, might have been a better substitution than Yarmolenko. I don't know what happened to my voice. That went all funny. Where would you rank Rice and Soucek in the Premier League centre-mid pairing? Not many better. Yeah, mate. Listen, we're biased. We're West Ham fans, but I've got to say, as a partnership, if you're saying as a partnership, they've got to be, they've got to be up there, top 5, top 6, haven't they, in terms of pairs together. If you look at Man City, obviously, what is it, De Bruyne and Rodri. Liverpool's obviously Fabinho and Henderson. And then you've got Arsenal, have got that new guy, haven't they, Partey, and is it Danny Ceballos that plays in the centre midfield for them? Yes, mate, I think you've got a good shout, maybe even for the top 5, top 4 as a partnership. There's better individuals, but as a partnership, mate, I think you've got a really good point there. So many players have said he has improved their game. The latest is Antonio. You can see it, mate. You can see that actually there is some coaching going on at the training ground, because players look a little bit more clever. In terms of their defending as well, and when to attack and when to pass, when to dribble. So there's definitely some coaching going on for a change at West Ham's training ground, which is good to see. I also agree with Kent. Our bread and butter results have to come against the mid-tier and bottom half teams. Often in the last few seasons, we've been turned over by newly promoted sides, bottom and the bottom teams. Yeah, and if you want to progress as a club, we've always been good at beating, giving games to Spurs, Chelsea, Tottenham, Man United, blah 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 blah. It is about turning up for those games. Fulham, Sheffield United. That's the difference. That's when we can say, okay, we're a good top 8 team, because then you'll be picking up the results where you're meant to pick up the results, and not pulling off worldies against Leicester's and Wolves. If we can pull off Leicester and Wolves worldies and get the 1-0s against the Fulhams and the Sheffield Uniteds, that is when you start becoming a good club. Even if he got us to the final or lose, there would still be people wanting him to go. What do you think? No, I agree, mate. There are some people there that just do not want him there. Maybe it's the association. It's like a sort of summary of the cheapness of GSB app, potentially, which I am a GSB app person. But if you want Moyes to foul, I'll put this question to you if you are not a Moyes fan. If you want Moyes to foul, you want West Ham to foul. If Moyes is successful, that means West Ham are successful. So we can get frustrated with his substitutions. We can get frustrated with some of the tactical choices he makes. But to actually constantly be on the case of, I want him to foul. Oh, even if we got to the final, I'd want him out. And I'm not saying that's your opinion, Stephen. I'm just saying there are definitely fans out there that think that. Then it's wrong. I want Dave Moyes to be a success, so West Ham are a success. I think he has got the potential to do what he did at Everton. He didn't win anything at Everton, but he left Everton in a real good shape. He promoted youth. He brought some fantastic players in. They were a fantastic side. He got them to the Champions League. They missed, obviously lost in the qualifying rounds. I remember it very vividly. But he got them there. And look where Everton are now. And a lot of where Everton are now is because of that groundwork that David Moyes put in. They've had a few managers, and obviously they've got a fantastic manager in Ancelotti now. But when David Moyes leaves us, if we are in a position to go on and be like what Everton are like, I'll bite your hand off right now to be as good a team as Everton and as well run as them. So hopefully Moyes is around when the takeover happens, when and if, and he's got us in a real good position. Maybe given a year or two under a new ownership and he's back. There's a scouting network built. There's a real good youth system built, a real good coaching setup built. Then when he does decide, I don't want to do this no more, it's handed over to a manager that can step in and, you know, carry on. This is all down to the director of football stuff. This is why a good director of football needs to come in, set all this up so that there is a real smooth transition for if Moyes is really successful and stays there for 3 to 4 years. When that next guy comes in, it is as if it's just there, you know, ready to go for this new guy. Like with Brendan Rodgers, and when Jurgen Klopp came in, you know, it was there. It was set up. It's like, okay, right, so Jurgen comes in 5 years' time, we're going to win the league. And it happened. I'm rambling a bit now, guys, but you can sort of see where a project can start and how it can have an end game if it's done right. We now have a very strong backroom staff, and I think they deserve a lot of credit for our turnout. We certainly do, mate. They certainly do. It's a really good. Alan Irvine, fantastic. Stuart Pearce, I love the man. Kevin Nolan, one of the best captains we've had in recent times at West Ham. Not sure who the other guy is, the bald guy, but he seems to have a real big impact. I'm not sure what his name is, but yeah, he seems to be a real big impact on the squad. Wasn't long ago we were all screaming to sell Oggy, Cresswell, Masuaku, and Antonio. Who next will be on the fans' chopping board? But to turn around and form, let's hope it's Haller, mate. Haller seems to be the one that the fans, you know, wouldn't mind if he went, should we say? Let's hope Haller can come in and turn it all around. But yeah, I totally agree, mate. Oggy, I was one when I rolled my hands up. I was like, this guy, he ain't doing it. He ain't doing it for me. You know, when Diop and Balbuena had that real good thing going. Ogbona's one of our best players without a doubt. You know, and rightly so, he's got back into the England team, Italy team. But yeah, Masuaku's been fantastic left wing back. I've always liked Masuaku. I don't like him as a left back, but he's not a left back. That's the key. He's playing in the wrong position, and this left wing back role is just sort of, he's found his niche now. Morning, afternoon, whatever it is. It might be good night, who knows. This is a mad season with no fans. It's anyone's league to win, and we could have gone third with a win. It's mad. Yeah, it does have that Leicester feel, mate. It does. It has that feel. And as we say, listen, it's putting him in a real, I don't want to put pressure on the geezer, but Benrahma, you know, if he is to be the next Dimmy, for example, and he can bang in sort of 10 to 12 assists, maybe hit 5 or 6 goals. Listen, we've got a player and a half, and that could really push us a bit further. And I really hope he can have that sort of impact. Predict when we next get the full 3 hours. Mate, I had no idea. No idea. Lee has recently become a father. I think I'm going to say his daughter's 3 weeks old, maybe 4 weeks old. He ain't ever coming back on. But I just don't want to change the name. I don't want to be the Two Hammers. It just doesn't sound right. And it sounds like something you might find on one of those sites that I won't go any further on. The Two Hammers. Like, no, it just doesn't sound right. What do you make of the new rules? We don't get a card when you play on if you're still attacking. No, I don't like that. I don't like that. 2 years minimum extension for Moyes, but we need to carry on this form against the smaller clubs. We do. That seems to be the universal opinion of everyone, Mark. Antonio said in the Super 6 podcast, the lack of fans has helped the players. Hear instructions from the coaches, and Moyes also said when fans return, it will be a shock to the system. It will. You know, some players that are a bit nervy, obviously when the crowds start getting on their back, it's not there. You know, they play like they're over the park, or play like they're over, what's it called? Like Wanstead or whatever. So, yeah, it probably will affect results when we do go back in. We'd all love to be back there. The Tottenham game the other week, how amazing would that have been to have been there? And the Leicester and the Wolves game. Mark, been helping out with our youth apparently, but still training with the first team. Hope he gets to play a couple of games this season, but happy for him to sit out at the moment. When Noble equals our Premiership goal scorer, he's 1 short of Paolo, and Antonio is on 39. Yeah, I think he will. I think he'll score one more. There'll be a penalty in there somewhere between now and the next, probably. I don't think he'll retire this year. I think it'll be next year. He'll get it. And how ridiculous is that? That, you know, no one's hit 50. Paolo's my favourite player ever. Absolute legend. Like that. Paolo Di Canio is just God for me. You know, just gave me some of the best football experiences ever. And the fact that he only hit 47 goals is crazy. It really, really is. And again, all the people that were saying about no Josh King. Josh King in 5 years scored 47 goals, 47 Premier League goals, the same as Paolo Di Canio. So in terms of goal ratio, you've got to give Josh King credit. Am GSB out like everyone else? He wasn't my choice either, but I'm definitely backing him. Thanks, Stephen. I would love Noble to play in all the cup games and get us to the final. What a season that would be for him. Yeah, wouldn't that be great? And let's hope we're in a position where we can just go, you know, really go for the cup and not have too much fear on league position. If we are to achieve anything, Noble mustn't start. 100% agree with that, mate. He showed in the Everton EFL Cup match that he and Snodgrass don't have the pace to play in a. Yeah, it's true, mate. Yeah. And I think Mark knows that himself. And listen, I've always been one to. I've always got on Mark's back. One of the first ever videos I made for this channel 5 years ago was me just walking down the Greenway because I don't know. I got inspired one day. I was like, you know what? I'm going to start a YouTube channel. And it's just me walking down the Greenway. I think I've deleted it now. And I was slating Noble then 5 years ago. And listen, he has proved me wrong a few times and been brilliant. But he knows now, you know, it's time to move on. Midfield partnership. Do you think Haller's days are numbered at West Ham? I reckon his agent's looking to get him out, mate. The fact that he didn't come on when Antonio went off and he preferred Yarmolenko. I know Haller did come on. He made two important things, didn't he? He got the header. He did something else that was quite important in the game as well. It's a shame. It is a shame, but he's just so. And listen, he's not a bad player. He's not right for us. He's too static, and we just don't play to his needs. Nicky said it on post-match points, saying about Grady Diagana may have been the man to unlock him and, you know, get him going. Maybe Ben Rama will be that. Who knows? Listen, but if we can't, and he's not in David Moyes' plans, you've got to get rid of him. You've got to, you know, he's on big money, and go and get someone that David Moyes will trust and will play. Sheezy says, to be fair, Luke, the Hammers are West Ham. It would be more recognisable from a marketing perspective. Two Hammers, yeah. We'll have a think about it. But I quite like the Three Hammers. I like the title a bit. And the Three Hammers is always, I've always said it, the Three Hammers is me and Paul now, and you guys are the third hammer. You know, the subscribers, the viewers, the people that interact with the chat, you guys are the third hammer. Especially now. Now we do all the live stuff, and it's a lot of, you know, your comments on the screen, and we discuss your comments. You guys are the third hammer. So remember that when you're watching this, guys. Much else to talk about. So where are we in the league anyway? So in the league at the minute, obviously we're sitting 11th on 8 points, which is really, really good. Fantastic turnaround. Here's one for you. I see TalkSport put a tweet out. I'm not going to go on for much longer. Maybe another 15. TalkSport put a tweet out. Antonio, should he get an England call up? There you go. If he was playing for a top 6 team, he would have got picked for England. I don't think he will. I think he deserves a go. I think he deserves a shout at at England call up again. I really do. It's something different. You've got Harry Kane, obviously world class and picks himself. Rashford, obviously brilliant player. Calvert-Lewin's the form player at the minute. Who knows what will happen with Vardy? Apparently Vardy may come out of retirement. But at the moment, Antonio's something different. And I get the impression that Southgate likes a player that can play in about 3 different positions. Antonio could come on and play right wing. Antonio could come in and play right wing back. Antonio could come in and play striker. He probably even can come on and play on the left. So who knows? Who knows? I would love to see it, because then you'd have Declan and Mikel in the England team, and it gives me a bit more interest in the England team. I'm not the biggest national team fan, I'll say it right now, but when there's West Ham players in there, it does make it a bit more exciting for me. Whose contract would you renew? Snodgrass, Noble, Antonio, and David Moyes. Antonio, 100%. That has to be done. Noble, purely, for the legend thing. Again, whether he would play or not, I don't think he's on a lot of money, but I think as a club, we sort of owe it to him to give him a proper send off. I know people were saying about he had his testimonial, 4 years ago, 5 years ago, one of the last games at Upton Park. But no, he has to be given a proper send off with the fans, and have that emotional moment. Snodgrass, yeah, good delivery. Yeah, I think I'll be looking to get him out the door. David Martin, again, he's there as a training ground goalkeeper, really. So he's probably not on a lot of money. So you probably could renew him, and he's there for the kids, to help train the kids up. Can we turn Liverpool over? I don't think we'll turn them over. I think we'll give them a good game. I think we could get a draw. But I can't see us turn this over. Salah just looks incredible. Their team looks slightly shaky in bits and bobs. But Salah is just ridiculous. He's so ruthless. He really, really is. Being biased to West Ham, no to Antonio for England. More than likely he'll come back injured. Oh, that's a good point as well, mate. Yeah, we don't want him getting injured, do we? Yeah, so maybe not, Kim. Maybe not pick him. I didn't even think of that. That's a fantastic point there, Steve. Yeah, so obviously the weekend we do play Liverpool. We'll go into that a bit more in the podcast. I don't want to go too much into that. But yeah, we can go into it quite relaxed, I think. We can go into that quite relaxed. Would you renew Lucas Fabianski's contract? Yes. There are question marks about him. He is getting, he's aging, and he's not going to get better. Yesterday, he was fantastic. I think a new goalkeeper is essential in the summer, but I would definitely keep Fabianski there for now. Yeah. Do you think Diop deserves his chance back in the starting 11? Yeah, soon, mate. Balbuena, he has moments where he's brilliant, and in other moments where he looks so slow and a bit dazed. Yeah, I would like to see Diop, because Diop's been given a good rest now, and hopefully, all that stuff of lack of confidence and stuff like that, he can come in now with that forgotten, and maybe it might rejuvenate him, and we'll see that monster that we did have a couple of years ago. When do our youth goalkeepers get a chance? Are they that crap? It's so tough with goalies, though, mate. Most goalies, they don't hit their peak until they're 27, 28. There are some exceptions to that. There are some amazing goalies that are in their 20s, early 20s. But it's really, really tough to throw a young goalie in. We see it with Stephen Bywater about 20 years ago now. And it was just too early for him. Nathan Trott, by all accounts, is meant to be fantastic. And there's another goalie, I can't remember his name, another young boy that's meant to be amazing as well. They need time on loan. They need to go on loan. They need to, play men's football and see how they get on. But yeah, hopefully one of them will come through at some point, mate. But it's such a tough position. It's such a position that you need to, the experience, and because it can ruin you as a goalie. If a goal goes in, it's 50% chance it's your fault, and it's how you deal with that. Here we go. Personal question. What are you doing with your week off? Nothing. There you go. Absolutely nothing. I'll chill out for a bit. Good long old term this has been. I'm gonna have a nice week off, relax, and then build up to the Christmas one. Yeah. Yeah, not much more than that, really, mate. Do some painting, perhaps. getting a kitten soon, so I need to get the house ready for a little kitten for my daughter. Who will be our next breakout youth player in your opinion? I really liked the right back, Ashby, was it, in the cup game? I thought he was fantastic. Looked really dynamic. I'm not going to say a shame we've bought Soufal, because Soufal looks like a really good player, but I wouldn't have been too upset if Ashby would have been given his chance, to be honest with you. And also, I really like the guy who played centre back, and I'm going to take a stab that his name was Alessi. I thought he was fantastic as well. So there's a couple there that look really, really good. Connor Coventry, yeah, he's a good player, but he doesn't look like he sets the world alight. Who knows? I could be completely wrong. But Ashby looked really, really dynamic and dangerous in them cup games, and I really hope that he can break through. Listen, the big one I wanted left last year, Joe Powell. I thought Joe Powell was going to be a sensational player for us. I really did. I used to manage the team when he went to school at Cumberland. When I was working there, I used to run the year 7, 8, and 9 team. And Joe Powell was one of the best players I've ever seen. As a kid, he was sensational, but just wasn't to be. I don't recognise Arthur. Last 2 games, he has impressed. I like a new player. Sorry. Brave moving Anderson on. Great to see the old god stepping up. Yeah, it is. Masuaku's touch is just ridiculous, and his feet are disgusting. There was that bit where he got caught in the midfield, and I thought, what is he doing? What is he doing? He just managed to get himself out of it. He'll get better and better as well in that position. He will learn more. The only criticism, and I'm being harsh as well, I still think he's a bit slow on closing down a cross. You've got Cresswell behind you. If there's a winger coming down that line, get over there quick, close that cross down. Sometimes he lets that cross come in few too many times, and that's my only criticism of him. How many times? Oh, mate, at least 300 times. Every language, every commentary, all the reactions from the Spurs fans, all the reactions from the West Ham fans. It's a moment, mate. It really, really is. It's not just a goal. It's a moment. It really, really is. As your PE teacher, any future stars under your wing? Obviously, I can't say no names, but there is a kid that left a couple of years ago. A runner, 100-meter runner, and a long jumper. Absolutely sensational. Honestly, when he used to run, it was like he was floating. Like he athletically, fantastic player. Fantastic athlete. Sorry, not player. Really, really, really talented. So modest as well, and maybe that will be the thing that just doesn't let him get to that top level. As PE teachers, we talk about it. These top young guys and girls, they can be unbelievably talented, but they haven't got that, that little bit of nastiness to really want it. It's like they're not bothered when they lose. As much as it's nice to be modest and nice to have that temperament, I want you to be a little bit upset when you lose, or a little bit wound up if something doesn't go your way. That's that winner's mentality. In terms of footballers, there's a couple that are okay, but we haven't got any academy players at the school at the moment. I'm trying to think if we've got any other ones that are really good. Like I say, there's a few of the girls there that are really, really good runners. But we're more athletic, really, because obviously Newham, isn't it? So obviously they've got links to Newham and Essex Beagles. But yeah, apart from that, mate, not really. Who is the most underrated player at our club? Most underrated? Good question. I'm gonna maybe not now, but maybe a year or so ago, I would say Ogbonna. Because Ogbonna's gone on and really shown what he is about, to West Ham and how important he is. at centre back for us. I think he is, and I think if Ogbonna was 25, 26, I think we'll be struggling to keep hold of him. I really do. I think a decent sized club would come in for him. I really do. Who is the most unappreciated player at a club? Oh, there we go. A slight twist on words there. Unappreciated. It's a good question. I don't know. I'm trying to think now. I think okay. In current team, I think some fans are still a little bit Marmite with Fornells. I'm a massive fan. I think he's technically very, very good. He lacks pace, but yeah, I'm going to say there's quite a big bit of the fan base that don't understand what Fornells is about in terms of what he does. But again, he's another one who runs his absolute socks off. Technically very, very good. The only thing for me with Fornells going forward, he needs to just have that little bit of composure. I think he could be capable of getting, 6 to 8 goals a season if he had that little bit of composure about him. When was the last time you were gutted to see a player leave the club? Well, obviously Dimitri Payet, and Arnie, for obvious ones. But for me, the biggest hurt I've felt when a player left West Ham was Joe Cole. I was in Faliraki at the time. I was 18. Just one of the best holidays of my life that was as well. And on Sky Sports News, it was just constant loop on in the hotel. Paolo left. Trevor Sinclair left. And, that was hurting at the time. And then the next day, Joe Cole was sitting there in a Chelsea shirt. That is the most hurt I've ever been in my West Ham life. Joe, one of my favourite players ever. When he come back, I was absolutely buzzing, and I was so glad that he did have quite a good impact on us. He scored some really important goals for us when he did come back. Joe Cole hurt a lot. I was a huge Frank Lampard fan as well. I know he was, at the time a bit Marmite with West Ham fans. But again, the way he left, it wasn't so much hurt. Scott Parker as well, gutted that he went to Tottenham. I know why he went to Tottenham, and I fully agree with the reasons he went to Tottenham. That really, really hurt because Scotty was one of my favourite players. I think Scotty carried 11 men for 3 years. Just such a fantastic footballer. But yeah, Joe Cole and Scotty Parker probably hurt me the most. Do you think we'll get a striker in January? I think so. I think that is where they'll be looking. I think they might go in again for Josh King. But again, I think we'll have a bit of competition in January in terms of, whether we can get these players. It's such a shame we didn't go in for Ollie Watkins. Bear with me, guys. Ollie Watkins would have been something dynamic that would have really suited the way we play. After the last 6 results, where do you predict we'll finish at the end of the season? Good question. At the moment, before the Fulham and Sheffield United game, when you can ask me again, I'm going to say 11th. I'm going to say we're going to finish 11th. I don't want this to come back and bite me in a few months' time. I'm going to say 11th. Sean says, Fornells is amazing. Work rate is so high and he tucks inside. To help Rice and Soucek in the middle, allowing Masuaku to have the left with Cresswell supporting late. Yeah, I noticed that yesterday. He was just sort of sitting there, like sort of top of. So you have Rice and Soucek, and then Fornells was just sort of sitting there, creating like this sort of triangle, which was really, really good to see. Again, this is because the players know what they're doing now as well. They've got instructions to follow, and maybe as people have been saying in the chat all day, because they can actually hear David Moyes shouting those instructions now, it's helping them. Anything else, guys? Ask me anything, any West Ham stuff. I'm going to go for literally 5, maybe 10 minutes now. Let me know if there's anything else you want to talk about. Otherwise, I'll wrap it up and we'll we'll talk on the podcast on Tuesday or Wednesday, whenever we decide to do it this week. I'm going to give you a couple more minutes to add whatever you want in the chat. Obviously, some good boxing coming up this weekend as well. Chisora versus Usyk. Good test for Usyk, I have to say. I hope he gets a little clump on the chin. I want to see if Usyk can take a heavyweight punch, but I fully expect Usyk to win. But good fight. I'm excited. How much would you value each player now? I'm only going to do the first 11 very, very quickly. So Fabianski, 5-6 million. Or Bonner, 15 purely because of his age. 15-20 million only because of his age. Cresswell, 8 million. Balbuena, 10. Masuaku, if he carried on the way he was going, he could be a sort of 15 to 18 million pound player. Kufau is already worth more than 6 million because he showed he can do it in the Premier League. 8 to 10 million. Rice, 80 million. Souček, I think his price has gone up from 20 to maybe a 30 million pound player. Bowen again, another one, 25 million. Antonio, if he was younger, would be worth a lot of money. I would say Antonio's worth probably about 15 to 20 million. Who else we got? Fornals. Yeah, I think his price stays about the same, that 20, 22 million mark. So, yeah, unless there's anyone else you want me to talk about, guys. What did you make of the players lying behind the wall and how clever was that? It's brilliant. It's brilliant. I've seen it a few times in La Liga. They do that quite a lot where they lay down, and it just distracts the player taking the free kick. It's like it can't go under. I need to really make it go over, and it just puts doubts in the player's mind. If you could replace one current starter with a new signing, who do? Oh, it's such a tough question, but it's a great question, I have to say. So you're asking me who comes out for Saeed Benrahma, which is such a tough question. Because I like all the starting 11 at the moment. The obvious one you say is Fornals. Obviously, it's the obvious one you say Fornals comes out. I don't know, mate. It's a really good question. It's a really good question, and I've heard Gonzo, and I'm sort of along those lines that maybe we'll see Saeed Benrahma play at left wing back for a bit to ease him in. But I don't know. I mean, no, I don't know, mate. It's a really good question, but I don't want to call it, to be honest with you, because I wouldn't take anyone out at the moment. Did you see Khabib last night? I did. Khabib was fantastic. Such a shame he's retiring. Understand why he's retiring. Obviously, his dad passed away due to the COVID and stuff like that. But what a machine. That is one geezer you do not want to get in a fight with. That is one geezer that's taking you out. Like, he gets older, it's all over. It's all over. There's being able to fight and then being able to take it to the ground. When you can be taken to the ground, like this geezer's absolute nutcase. The Khabib match was over before the scheduled program start. Yeah, I know, mate. I just about caught it. Pete says, yes, Cheesy. If the European Premier League happened, will the EPL be valued as championship level? Potentially, but maybe the Premier League would become more interesting. If those big clubs were to go. I think the novelty would die a little bit for the fans with a European league. Like, would you really want to be travelling? As much as it's great to be playing at Real Madrid, or Barcelona, or Juventus, Bayern Munich, as a fan, could you really afford to go there every weekend? If you were very much a fan of away and home, going to every home and away game in England is expensive enough as it is, with your petrol, potentially a hotel, a bit of food on the motorway. You got to get flights, taxi to and from the airport, maybe a hotel in another country. It doesn't, for as a fan, it wouldn't appeal to me. Maybe as the team and the players and the club, it appeals, but as a fan, no. Can you see Lanzini getting more game time? Yeah, I think he will. Again, he will be eased in as the confidence builds. But with 4 undefeated, mate, you can't. It's very tough to change it at the moment, isn't it? Khabib, what a beast that submission hold was. Bananas. Yeah, literally, mate. I remember when he first came through, he bloody fighting bears at 4 years old. You know, so he ain't got to be scared of a human if a bear. He can take out a bear at 4 years old. And Fashizi says, yo, Peach. Right, couple more minutes, guys. I've been going on for an hour now. It's been great, guys. Always great to talk to you guys. Really enjoy, catching up with you guys. And I've actually missed doing these shows. I haven't done one for such a long time. And it's just good to be back. And hopefully I can start doing these again either on a Saturday or a Sunday. Get talking to you guys. You know what it is? FIFA came out. FIFA 21 come out. And I started playing that again. And it was like, oh, I can't get myself away from it. I should really do a video, but I can't get myself off it. And then what will happen is on the 20th of November, my PlayStation 5 turns up and it'll be, I don't want to come off the PlayStation 5. So that's what's stopping me making the videos. I've become a bit of a bloody computer game geek again, back to when I was like in my early 20s. Why did Moyes only use 2 subs yesterday? Good question, mate. I think Yarmolenko came on and I think he regretted that. And that's why he brought Haller on. I think if Yarmolenko would have worked out, he maybe only would have done 1 sub. But yeah, I would have liked to have seen Lanzini come on. Bit harsh that Snodgrass wasn't even in the setup as well. I thought, Snodgrass was quite influential on the in the Tottenham game, wasn't he? He came on, he was quite influential in that game. If Luke was a UFC coach, his favourite would be take him to their grand. Yeah. Listen, if you could take a geezer to the grand, it's different levels of fighting. It really, really is. I work with a guy who's black belt in Taekwondo, and this geezer you wouldn't want to get in a fight with him. Nicest geezer you've ever met, but he's one of them blokes. Getting a row of him is a nightmare. And he always says about Khabib, he says, right, most people can have an half decent fist fight, 1-on-1, hand-to-hand. But when you say, for example, you did get lucky and you managed to knock someone like Khabib down, he don't care. He will just grab you on the floor and pin his legs around your neck and make you go asleep. And that's the different level and the skill level of these guys. You should broadcast some of your FIFA, mate. If I broadcast my FIFA matches, I'd be banned from YouTube because the language and the anger and aggression that I have when I play that game, it makes me want to kill people, that game. That is the only game that makes me want to hurt people. Like, it's an ego thing, obviously, because of the football thing. It's the classic, this game is BS. Listen, I'll probably get 1 million subscribers, because people would find it so funny. But no, I can't, mate. I can't. It makes me so angry and just humiliating. I couldn't take the abuse on Facebook or YouTube or whatever if I was to do it. Real talk. Usyk or Chisora? Usyk to win. I really like Usyk as well. What a shot Lomachenko as well, part of his stable loss last week, didn't he? I want to, as I said earlier, if you did miss it, I want to see Chisora give him a clip. I'd like to, because Chisora can bang. So I would like to see Usyk take a good dig to the chin. But yeah, I think Usyk's winning. Usyk's real classy fighter. Really, really classy fighter. So I'm looking forward to that fight. I really am. Pete says he's laughing away. And Pete says, I hear. Right. I am going to wrap it up there. Thank you so much, guys. The conversation's been brilliant. Really, really enjoyed it, guys. Hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. If you didn't notice, we did it 3K, which is bloody fantastic. For a little channel like us to have hit 3K is brilliant. Considering we only do 1 or 2 videos a week, some of the big channels out there, with your West Ham Fan TVs, your Hammers Chat, listen, they're doing 2-3 videos a day. And, they're big numbers, 15K, 50K. which is brilliant. And listen, I'd love to be able to do that, but it's really difficult, you know, when you're at work and you know you've got a small daughter. But yeah, like thank you so much for staying loyal, you know, liking the videos, getting involved in the chat and commenting, you know, on the videos and sharing our stuff out there. You know, you guys are the third hammer, as I said earlier. You know, when people are asking, like, will the third ever come back? You're here every week, guys. You know, you're watching, you're helping out. You guys help make this channel. Yeah, so I'm going to wrap it up there, guys. I know there's a couple of comments there. I'll give you the credit and put them up for you before we wrap them up. So the question is, can Usyk make the step up to heavyweight? I really hope so. It's whether he can carry the power. And Lomachenko and Peach says LOL. Anyway, guys, come on your irons, hit that subscribe button, share this video with your mates, hit the like button, drop some comments in if you think of anything else we can talk about in the podcast. Until then, keep believing. We're going to have a good season this year, guys. Let's go.